log on to vocarium.com. Once logged in, you can select the checkpoint milestone that you're working on. In my case, what I've done is I have all the required files placed in my working directory. Now the scripts are present inside the resource directory, which is the following path. So you go back one level, go to the resource directory, followed by the scripts. This is where you would see the submit and the final submit. This is for the purpose of checkpoint, whereas this is for the final submission. Now let's say that we want to look at this file. In this case, what you can do is you can just copy this file into your working directory, and that can be done as follows. So now if we go back to our home directory, we will have the submit.sh present. As you can see, we now have submit.sh present in our working directory. Now let's try to look at this file. If you look at this file, it is the checkpoint submission script. It first performs the submission checks, the initial file checks. For example, it checks if util.h is present inside the working directory or not. Then it checks for dictionary bst.h, hashtable.h, and so on. Once it's done checking all the required files, it now checks for compilation of the code. If you look at this process, it basically first copies the files into the working directory, then it runs the make clean command, followed by compiling the checksum file. In case your code does not compile, it'll return an error over here. But if it does compile, then it moves on running the tests. It runs the tests by running /checksub, which runs all the tests provided inside the checksub.cpp. If your code runs fine, you will not see any error. But in case you have any errors, it will show up like using these commands. It might either be a segmentation fault or something that return a non-zero exit status. Now let's try to run the submission script. To run the submission script, just run it like this. So this has started running the submission script. So if you look at this basically prints all the messages that are present. It initially printed the things from the submission script, and once it was done checking all the files, it ran the /checksub. So all the output that we see here is generated from checksub.cpp. Now let's assume that there was an error in one of these methods, like test find for not in dictionaries. To debug this, what you could do is you can just go to checksub.cpp and look for this specific string. So in this case, I'm just going to copy this, go to checksub.cpp, right? So /resource/asnlib/checksub.cpp, and I'm going to look for this file, this string. So as we see that the string is present here. So it is this method that failed, and now we can try to understand what went wrong here. So this is how you would go about debugging your tests. If you see that a specific method is failing, you might as well copy this method and create your own small test file and use this to test your methods. All the necessary supporting files are present in the asnlib directory, which can be seen here. This is how you can actually check and run the submission scripts and look at the supporting files that help you to debug your code. Similarly, for final submission, you will just go to the final submission and repeat the same process. And instead of running submit.sh, in that case, you will run final submit.sh, which is shown here.